when we talk about deployment and management and how you actually maintain hygiene on your applications, you've got a fun way to showcase that for our customers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I've got a more fun one, right? So, what I've decided to do is take Kubernetes and apply a open source container that I pulled and apply it fleet wide to many, many different Kubernetes clusters that are running on my Azure local instances around the world. So I'm starting off small, and you can see here we have two Kubernetes clusters that are Arc enabled, right? And so I'm able to manage these. And you can see very quickly what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing Mario, right? So we've got mobile Mario, which is here running in the booth on the Azure local nodes we have here. And then we have deployed it also to our California cluster. If we were to dive into this, this is just a normal Azure Arc-enabled Kubernetes cluster, right? We deployed it, we've Arc-enabled it so that the containers for Arc are connected to this Kubernetes, and I'm allowed management capabilities over it. And you can see it's running the latest and greatest. We have 3 nodes. It's nothing super fancy, nothing super particular. I've got the extensions that make our Arc-enabled Kubernetes so cool, right? So I've used Azure Policy to automatically identify it and then deploy the Defender for Kubernetes so I can manage the security state. Or I have Policy automatically applying the metrics and the monitoring on this so that I have Grafana, Prometheus, even Azure Monitor data collecting that insight data. Now, on top of this, I've started to leverage some of our new extensions that we've brought down to Arc-enabled Kubernetes that are just starting to roll out here that we're talking about on Ignite. This one being ArgoCD. So ArgoCD is pretty much the standard way of doing kind of fleet management across the board for GitOps operations on Kubernetes, whether it's GKS, EKS, K8s, whatever it is. Our customers tend to use ArgoCD. And so I went ahead and applied an ArgoCD extension in addition to a MetalLB extension. Now I've done this all through code. So I used a bicep template to deploy out both those clusters. And then I'm using a concept called overlays. And so you see here I have my base configuration for Argo, and that's going to pull in my base YAML configurations, how I want this Mario container pulled from my Azure Container Registry and what version of that. I then laid on overlays that make each individual cluster, the California and mobile ones in this case, unique in their case. And that could be as simple as the load balancer IP address, the namespace that I may be using, the ArgoCD interface, right? Things like that. That's how I'm going to customize it. So I simply can then just push this kind of information across the field. Now, if we dive into one of these clusters, you can see the different workloads that are running. Now, I can do this through kubeconfig or kubectl or even K9 should I choose to. But here, because it's Arc enabled, I can go ahead and use the UI interface that Azure Portal has. And so here you can see in the Mario game namespace, I have a single container running the Mario clone that we have. And in fact, getting to the fun stuff, here is that Mario game running. And so you can see, yes, performance not great, but I can fine tune that. But you can see that we are playing a Super Mario game in HTML and JavaScript that's running in this container. So it's a very cool little version of this. Now, this is all controlled through ArgoCD. And so you can see in ArgoCD the application and the exact same interface that I would be used to if I was using ArgoCD anywhere else. I simply applied the extension and then applied my configuration, whether I did it through CLI like you saw, or if I wanted to do it in the GUI here with the ArgoCD interface. Okay, so let's make a change. Just really show this thing has some fleet capabilities, right? So in this case, this Mario clone is pretty cool. It could be a lot better. So we're going to go ahead and apply a configuration, and you're going to see that what ArgoCD is set to do is by default, every 3 minutes, it's going to go look in my repo and see if there are any changes to that code, right? So I simply had my developers update the code. They've pushed a new version. The GitHub repo has been updated. The pull request has been approved. Everything is good, right? Now ArgoCD is seeing that it's out of sync. And so what it's going to do is it's going to synchronize. I'm going to go ahead and just force this synchronization. And I'm going to do it on both sides of the cluster, so mobile and California. And what's happening is in the background, if we were to go check it out, if we were to go look at the pods that are running, you'll see that we have a pod running. Oh, we might have got it too fast, but that's okay. We can go ahead and check on the status. And so if we do a force refresh, you'll see that now we have that updated code.
And look at that. That looks
Yeah.
pretty like it was made specifically for our booth here.
Yes, please don't sue me. But yeah, exactly. So this is showing you that exact same kind of fleet management. Now, imagine I've got a retail application or an industrial application that I need to ensure that I've applied to a canary ring, to a dev ring, and then eventually to a production ring. It's that simple as I'm checking in that code to my GitHub repo and waiting for ArgoCD to do that synchronization, right? So this is showing you quite easily the scale of what's happening and really makes the workload where it's running transparent. Again, like I said yesterday, the beauty of Azure Local and all these products is I can really just run my workload where I need to run it. In this case, I need to run Kubernetes at scale across a wide variety of on-site or on-premises infrastructure. I'm able to do that, but manage it in the same way I would do in the cloud.
Awesome. Michael, I think this is just a great representation to just show folks in a fun way how easy it is to make these level of adjustments and deploy them down onto your containerized applications and be able to leverage the power of your Azure Local investment to run those workloads that critically need to be localized to where your resources are.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And thanks for helping me wrap up day 2. Looking forward to some more conversations for tomorrow.
All right. I'm going to play Mario and get a better score.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right. Thanks.